Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball. Let's recap the week that was in Major League Baseball because a lot of fun stuff is happening. Let's talk about it. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Baseball, brought to you by DraftKings. Thank you very much for tuning in, hanging out with us for a little bit as we sit around and talk about the baseball. My name is Jimmy. Sitting next to me is Jake. In California, we have Trevor Plouffe, and behind the dish, we have producer BBD. We're coming off the Field of Dreams games. We got a lot of standings getting shifted constantly. It looked like there might not be a lot of chaos is what we were thinking, Jake, the rest of the season. And now it's looking like the month of August, at least, is going to be bringing a lot of chaos. We'll see how quickly it sorts itself out, if it ever does. I'm excited to chat about it with everyone. Jake, how are you doing?
James, Trevor Plouffe, former MLB third baseman, first baseman, shortstop, right field, and left fielder. Did you ever get in left? Mm-hmm. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Second base.
Myself, I also moved around. No, everyone live in the chat right now, love you. Coming off a huge night for baseball, listen to a little WFAN where we were last Friday, and they had the crazy New York sports calls. The last night was the best night of baseball I can remember in a long time, and that's kind of the consensus around the country right now. So I guess you could say baseball, caliente in los streets. So, yeah, I'm enjoying it, and like Jimmer teased it, holy NL East. I can't wait to talk about that with you boys. Baseball is doing it. Trevor, Paul, how are you?
What? I don't know who that is, but I'm Trev here. Coach Trev's doing great, man. I'm happy to be on the sticks with you boys on a Friday morning. I guess it's afternoon for you guys. But, yeah, a lot of good baseball. Last night was incredible. We'll talk about that a little bit, right?
It's a little bit.
Before we get into the games. NL East is dumb. A lot of things going on. Giants keep winning. Dodgers, a lot of people hurt. What's going on with that? I'll break it all down. I'm batting leadoff today.
Wow.
NL all day long. 7 series. I'm going through it. I got my big pea popper stopper on the mic today. Gonna sound crispy.
Wow.
James, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. According to Google Translate, this is how you say hot in the streets in Spanish.
Calor en las calles.
Calor en las calles.
Caliente en los calles.
It's me. Okay.
I'm doing well, Trev. I'm doing well. I have a very stiff neck. Stiffest neck I've had in a while. So
Little Roman stuck in the throat.
I was going to
playing
say.
with a stiff neck. No, I'm good. And we should talk about the Field of Dream games to start off the show. It is stealing the leadoff spot from you a little. We'll do it quickly because the actual results of the game are technically the weekend series. This show is about the White Sox versus the Twins and the Yankees versus the Royals, not the Yankees-White Sox. So gameplay, we can get into that later. But I'm interested to hear both your overall thoughts of just the spectacle, because I'm sure the audience is interested in all of ours. And I went in as cynical and like I don't care as possible. Not as possible. Like I was interested, but I wasn't.
Didn't do anything.
Wasn't salivating. Didn't do anything. I remember back in 2019 saying like, good, do it in America, not London. Like try to put baseball in places that don't have teams in the U.S., not London. I don't like the movie. That's a whole nother thing. All that being said.
Tough intro to the good stuff.
All that being said, that was awesome. Yeah. And I think MLB should do more special events like this around the country. Stop trying to go outside the country. You got a lot to fix internally first and grow it. You have so much room to grow internally at this point. But I thought it was just the concept. I know Jake tweeted out a bunch of like different places. Just do a game in a weird spot every year and make them wear old uniforms. And it's like old barnstorming vibe. That's like if there's like, you know, a barnstorming game every year where who cares? They're at this guy's barn now, or now they're at the Grand Canyon or this or that. Like, and it's only 8,000 people there, but it's everyone's going to tune in. Like, it was a spectacle. I do think a lot of people watch that don't watch baseball regularly or watch those teams regularly, and I think that's a huge win. And then the teams put on an absolute show to finish the game. So I thought it was great.
Yeah, I don't think there's much of an opinion outside of that. I mean, that's the consensus. I think that's what everyone in this chat is thinking right now. I was, I tweeted out, this feels like a huge win, and you're right. I mean, and, who knows, you can tie local stuff to it. I mentioned the Grand Canyon. Get a D-backs game near the Grand Canyon or something. That'd be nuts. So maybe each team finds a local place that's there. There's some sort of story around it. I don't know. And I'm fine with the international stuff, too. I mean, Canada, Mexico, London, if they do some Asian games. I mean, you got the Caribbean islands, like, do stuff there too. Like, there's a lot of baseball players from there. So,
all those places have baseball. I'd be fine with all those places. They are a baseball nation.
Just go for it. It's fun. Even I enjoyed the London series. This was a little different and a little better of a scene. I mean, there's no arguing that with the cornfields and the history that ties to it, and having a catch. Not playing catch with your pa. Loved it, and hope they do more. The one thing I did say, which was a good reply, and is always someone said they cost $5 million to put this event on, which is cool, and, it's for MLB. I'm sure they made their money back and some. It was more like they turned it into a minor leagues thing. They were like, we're spending $5 million on this. If there's some way we can still get the minor leaguers a couple extra bones, and hey, let's link that all together. If you're going to spend $5 million on this, match 50% of it so minor leaguers don't have to eat cheese Sammies and sleep on a couch, Trev.
I mean, those things aren't mutually exclusive. They can do both of those
right
things. Like $5 million to MLB is nothing. They sneeze it. That's right, Jakey boy. The game itself last night, I think, is what made everything. I know there was some beautiful, cinematography, and Iowa. Let me tell you something. Iowa looked beautiful. Never would have put those two words together. But your pink sky last night, Iowa, really did it. So congratulations on that. But if the game wasn't as good as it was, we're not talking about it the way we're talking about it. So like the back and forth, the White Sox, by the way, their bullpen's incredible. I know they blew the game last night, but that has to scare every single person that watched the game. The guys that they're bringing out back into their games. I do want to say about your point, we should do this in all these different places. I think it's hard to do it. I think it's hard to just construct a field somewhere, dude. Like, if you're trying to go by the Grand Canyon, it's really hard to just construct a major league quality baseball field. So they're going to run into problems doing that. I wouldn't mind if they just ran this thing back for, just say make it like 5 years. We'll commit to 5 years of doing this, see where it goes from there. The players seem to enjoy it, which is always a good thing. That's always something you have to think about as well. When you talk about going international, like during the season, like that's tough, man. Kind of gets right in the schedule and everything. This was a really easy little quick trip for them, so I think that's why it worked as well. But kudos, man. We talk crap about MLB and their production value quite a bit.
So maybe that's what it is, Trev. Maybe you do 5 years or 3 years.
Yeah,
you build the stadium, you do Field of Dreams for 3 years. Okay, where we go in the next 3 years? And then you do a Grand Canyon series in the AL West 3 years in a row, and then you move it to wherever. And that would be a bit of a more makes sense than a new stadium or a new makeshift stadium every year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, it's cool if Major League Baseball started leaving these stadiums, use them for 3 or 4 years and then find a way to give them to the city and let them, figure out a way to use it.
I don't know. Nice. Dyersville, Iowa has 4,000 people there and the stadium fits 8,000. So
they could, you run college tournaments through there. You run summer leagues through there. There's a lot of things you could do. Yeah. Make it special.
Find a way. Good job, baseball.
All right, let's get right into the NL, brought to you by Trevor Plouffe. Can you tell us what happened? I need to know. I want to know. You're up.
All right, here we go, boys. The L.A. Dodgers went into Philadelphia, and they took 2 of 3 from my Phillies. 5-0 Dodgers, 8-2 Dodgers before the Phillies won the rubber match 2-1. Suarez pitched excellent in that game in Game 3. 4 1/3 innings of only 1 earned run. He's been one of the biggest surprises of the season. Good job, Ranger. But the Dodgers just took it to the Phillies. It wasn't really a contest the first 2 games. Dodgers are banged up, though. Turner sits the whole series. Mookie placed on the 10-day IL. Kershaw transferred to the 60-day. Got a lot of things going on there with the Dodgers, but they're still winning games. Bad news for the Phillies as well. Hoskins placed on the 10-day IL, but he should return on Wednesday. Dodgers take 2 of 3 from the Phils. Moving on, the Reds went down into Georgia, just like the Devil. And they lost 2 out of 3. Braves win 2 games of the series. 3-2 Braves, 8-6 Braves in 11. A thrilling walk-off game before the Reds handle it 12-3 in Game 3. Austin Riley doing it. 4 hits with 2 extra base hits. Ozzie had 2 homers. Votto continues his tear. 6 hits with 2 home runs in the series. Like we said, Albies walked it off in Game 2. A 3-run homer in the 11th, and it was a bomb, and it was fun to watch him around the bases. Winker had a grand slam in Game 3. That blowouts. Big news for the Braves. Yanoa to be activated starting, and he's going to start next Tuesday. And Rosario begins the rehab assignment. So guys are coming back. My Braves, they're still in it. The door's open. Braves take 2 of 3 from the Reds. Moving on, the Brewers sweep the Cubs because the Cubs don't care anymore, and the Brewers are a very good team. Doubleheader. 4-2, 6-3 Brewers. They win both of those, then 10-0 and 17-4. They just stepped on the throat and didn't get up. Eddie Escobar, 9 hits with 2 extra base hits. Luis Urias, 8 hits with 6 extra base. Jesus, guys. Jace Peterson, 7 hits, 3 extra base hits. Everyone was doing it. Andrew Romine, yes, he is in my book, did come in to pitch the last game. He pitched to his brother Austin. We'll have to talk about that a little bit. That's pretty cool. Cubs released Jake Arrieta after that one. That's a tough weekend, or a tough beginning of the week for the Cubs. They lose 4 games to the Brewers. Moving on, Nationals at Mets, and the Mets do the damn thing. Polar Bear Pete, let's freaking go. 8-7 Mets, and then they sweep the doubleheader 4-1 and 5-4. They hit the crap out of the ball. The Mets did. The Nationals did not. Alonso, my guy, 6 hits with 4 extra base hits and a home run. Conforto, Davis, and VR, 5 hits apiece. Carter Keyboom, remember him? Only National to record 4 hits. Stroman doing the damn thing. 5 innings pitched and a third with 1 earned run in Game 2. Friend of the pod, Trevor Williams, my guy, 4 1/3, 1 earned run in his Mets debut in Game 3. Shout out. Alonso did have the walk-off homer in Game 3 after the Nationals tie it with 3 in the 7th. News on DeGrom. DeGrom will undergo another MRI in the coming days. Javi Baez pinch hits in Game 1, but doesn't start any of the games. And Mets plan on using Syndergaard as a reliever when he returns. A lot of notes on the Mets. They sweep, take 3 from the Nationals. Moving on, Giants sweep a 2-game set against the D-backs. They cannot lose a game. 8-7 Giants, 7-2 Giants. What are we going to talk about? Posey continues to do his thing. Brandon Crawford, is he an NL MVP candidate? Probably. Gallisman goes 5 innings pitched, 1 earned run, and records 2 hits of his own in returning from the paternity list. Jim, stats that exist that don't matter. Giants sweep the 2-game set. Moving on, a lot of sweeps, baby. The Cardinals do it to the Pirates because obviously Cardinals sweep a 3-game set. 4-1 Cardinals, 4-0 Cardinals, 7-6 Cardinals. J.A. Happ goes 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run in Game 1. My goodness, he's got a 2.45 through his first 2 Cardinal starts. Wainwright, though, was the story of the series. Throws a complete game shutty on just 88 pitches, 7 Ks, 2 hits, 0 walks. 11 shutouts are the most of any Cardinals pitcher in the wild card era. Lars Nootbaar hits his first career home run, and that is awesome. And our guy Jack is back today. Let's freaking go. Last series, Marlins at Padres. Padres take 2 out of 3. 8-3 Padres. 6-5 Padres. 7-0 Marlins. What else we got? Tatis is coming back this week, and that's all I really care about. Padres take 2 out of 3. And that's what happened in the NL.
Good stuff, Trevor. As far as standings are concerned, the Brewers have an 8-game lead over the Reds in the Central. The Giants have a 5-game lead over the Dodgers in the West. Dodgers and Padres are still your wild card teams. And in the East, the Phillies are currently half game up on the Mets. They are tied in the loss column. And the Braves are 1 game behind them. The East is kind of a chaos dream right now.
It's the beast of the East versus the best of the West. We are the very best. We are going to BEAT beat them. BUST bust them. The Atlanta Braves are going to be a big talking point this episode. We mentioned run differential on here a lot. Only team in the NL East with a positive run differential, and it's getting to a fun spot, plus 59, while every other team, including the Phillies and Mets, are negative. Meanwhile, Mets are half game ahead of the Braves. They do some dirty work that they needed to before their hellish stretch. They needed to. Pistol Pete walked that walk. You could hear about him later. And BBD's Phillies, man, 8-2 in their last 10. Good for them, doing the damn thing. This seems like, unless the Tampa Bay Rays come back down to earth, which they just don't ever do, the NL East feels like it's going to be baseball's best storyline the rest of the way, with maybe the AL wild card getting a kick in the pants there. But, I mean, it just... Each team's storylines are so much fun, and how they're going to develop, like, again, listen to WFAN, they're saying if the Mets go 7-6, hell, 6-7, they're set up good the rest of the way. But if they drop a 3-10 or something, whew.
Yeah, they'd sign up for 7-6 right now. They take it to the bank right freaking now. They are playing at the Dodgers kind of like an opportune time, though. A lot of people hurt. I know Belly's kind of got the stroke going again. That's good for the Dodgers, but if you're going to play the Dodgers, I think right now is the time.
What's going on with Kershaw? Did they can backdate the IL. So was a 60-man, him going to 60-man, just a roster move to get someone else on the 40?
I think so.
It's not an additional injury or anything, right? Okay.
I didn't hear anything about an additional injury.
Yeah, usually that's just roster crunch stuff, and like it wouldn't even change his timeline. Syndergaard going to the bullpen, does that do anything for you guys? I mean, he's had setbacks. It's late in the season. You really don't want to mess with him. I think it's...
Yeah, and they need bullpen help because they've been taxed, man. The bullpen's been working a lot. So to have an extra arm out there, and especially a guy that could get stretched out, it's going to help their bullpen.
Yeah, I just wonder their rotation because they also need help there a little bit. But the bullpen's been good, just taxed. The rotation,
yes,
not giving them a lot of innings. That's why the bullpen's been taxed.
And that's kind of what they're saying. Like, if Syndergaard can give them innings, like he can, if he can give you 2 innings right now in the MLB, that's kind of better than the 3 he could give you in a rehab start. So, I mean, the Mets season is here. It's in the balance. So, get it going. Let's get some Syndergaard. Shirtless out at shortstop. Yup.
Oh, my.
Yup.
I said now's the time to get the Dodgers. And then you look at who their starting rotation is for this series. It's Urias, Walker, and Scherzer.
Have fun.
Good luck.
The Braves staying in the NL East. The Braves win some games with a big walk-off win by Ozzie as well. And then their pitching has been good, and they're getting Inoa back. I think he's making one more rehab start. I think he's set to return, and Mueller, who's been the only kind of blight in their rotation, gets bumped. Inoa's going to come in, but I just had this up. They've been good. Freed's been good his last time through. Charlie Morton twirled a gem. Smiley, 6 innings pitched, 2 runs his last start. So I like the Braves pitching. And then if they just, I don't know. I'm very excited for this NL East run. It's going to be pretty crazy. Did you talk to Gibby at all about what Girardi did with him? Interesting move. I'd always interested to see how a starting pitcher reacts. If anyone doesn't know, it's been done before. Rain was coming, and it looked like, the forecast said that we'll probably start this game, then there's going to be a delay after the 3rd inning of like an hour, and then we're going to come back. So 30 minutes before game time, Girardi was like, all right, Gibby, you're not starting. We're just going to throw some relievers, and you will start after the rain delay. And it happened perfectly. Gibby got hurt by some errors, but I was interested in, how does he feel about that? That's kind of odd.
Yeah, I haven't talked about him, but I'd assume you'd rather do that and get to pitch a bulk of innings rather than start the game and You only get to go one or something like that. So
yeah. Is there?
If I ask Gibby about it, he'd be like, "Man, whatever he wants me to do." You know how Gibby
Yeah,
is.
it felt like Gibby wasn't going to put up too much of a fight there, but
No.
Not much to talk about with the Brewers-Cubs. Brewers sweep. Brewers are good. Cubs aren't really trying. They're kind of way on their way out.
yeah,
they're digging deep quickly.
a lot of possible Brew Crew for standout performance, which almost hurt them a little bit because they had a couple big ones. Their starters that series had a 0.89 ERA. If you're looking for a good time, I tweeted it out. Check out the Brewers' top 3 in their rotation. And when you start thinking about your team's playoff future, think about playing a team like that.
Yep.
They're El Grosso.
Can we kill off the Cardinals, or are we still in on them? Because they're 6.5 back.
No, that was going to be my next question there. They sweep. They get the sweep. They get amazing outings from their starting pitching. They have more starting pitching coming. They're still, what did you say on the division? 6 or 8?
Well, they're 6.5 out of the wild card.
If you sweep
in the division
and you can't make up like any ground, I think you know.
Yeah, they're 11 back in the division. So the wild card is their only hope. They're 6.5 back there, and they got a lot of teams in front of them. They have Atlanta, New York, Cincinnati, before they get to San Diego and LA.
I've been saying it with the Yankees. I brought it over to the Cardinals. I basically said, win 9 games in a row, and we'll talk about you.
So they got to win 6 more.
Yeah, they lost 1 to KC, but they've got another KC set. They're playing 3 at Kansas City, who they're, falling out of it. Then you run into Milwaukee, but if you survive, Pittsburgh, Detroit, Pittsburgh. So I'm very interested to see.
Detroit's good, man.
It's a 2-gamer with Detroit, so they'll split that because 2 dump game interleagues. But, man, that's 7 games against Pittsburgh in a 9-day period. I'm interested to see if we're having fun Cardinal convos come August 30th. Ad for that episode.
St.
Lou, what up?
And don't look at their September schedule.
No, that's a September. That's a future them problem.
I mean, we're talking like this because there's a chance for fun. But if we had to put a number on it, like it's 2% or less.
I hope we can have a fun convo come August 30th. Because if we can't, then there will be no fun convos.
Okay. BBD said he'd go 5. I'm going 2% or less on the Cards' chances. But I'm happy they swept and they got some good performances. Anything else we got to talk about? Padres take 2 out of 3 from the Marlins. Padres, they could really go on a run here. But Cincinnati losing to the Braves helped them out.
Yeah.
Because they win 2 out of 3. They don't sweep. That's fine. Getting series wins is good. But since he loses 2 out of 3 to the Braves, so they actually gain because of that. So they're 3.5.
Hey,
that gets
Tatis
to 4.5,
coming
5.5. You're done looking at it a little bit.
Yeah, he's. I think this move. I don't think we've talked about it. The move that he's going to be in center field. I mean, they've all but said it now.
Yeah.
Or did they say it? I think it improves their team because now you get to put Crone Zone at short. So that's an elite bat for shortstop. You get to have Frazier at second, right?
Sure. Kim.
Upgrade
Frazier.
there. Tatis, it's like they're adding a bat essentially to their defense. They can get those guys in the lineup all at the same time now. I'm curious to see how Tatis does out there.
He's going to do something flashy right away. He might not grade out well, but he's going to do something flashy first game he's there. It's diving catch. It's like a ball that bounces off the wall, and he barehands it and turns and throws it into second. And, the guy doesn't even run to second, but the throw's perfect, and you're just like, oh, it looks smooth. Something.
There's just he's gonna look good on some plays and he's gonna look bad on some plays because there are some balls that you just have to have been in the outfield to get a read on. Balls right at you, that's the one they always say is the toughest, breaking in, breaking back.
That's it. There's gonna be a liner right at Tatis, he's gonna take a step in, it's gonna be going over his head, and he's gonna make like the shortstop
Probably.
leap catch because he's 6'4" and a freak.
I like that.
The ones that are scary are the balls in the gap because he has no practice out there with other outfielders like coming at the ball as well. And you have to be able to communicate where am I going? Am I going back? Am I going in front? And that just takes time, man. So I'm scared to watch some of those.
And that's,
but, obviously the athlete he is, he could do anything.
And I see, Trent Grisham mentioned in the chat, he was the Gold Glove winner in center field last year. So I wonder, what does that look like? Is he banged up at all right now?
No, they're just going to move him.
So that's interesting. Padres fan, let us know. And obviously we're going to get some updates on the internet, but
Will Myers will be going to the bench.
It'll be, with Tatis, it's always fun to watch, and I like it for this year, Trev. I know you talked about it on your with Chris Rose on your daily show. Go check that out. But yeah, we're at the point of the season where anything goes. Like, the Padres traded for Frazier. They didn't necessarily have a spot for him, but now look what's going on. Syndergaard, we just talked about him going to the bullpen. Tatis, some outfield Tatis for the rest of this year. Yeah, let's have a party, but interested to see how it plays out for the rest of this year and then next offseason and all that because there's a lot of money.
Yeah. Everyone in the chat is saying Tatis is in right field. They're going to leave Grisham in center, which makes sense.
I'll believe them.
Yeah, makes sense. All right, anything else in the East? We good?
The only other note that's not really a note, I'm thinking about making if they were Yankees fans would go absolutely nuts about them, and it's Sandy Alcantara on the Marlins because he is absolutely gross. 94-mile-per-hour changeups. Yikes.
He's scary on the hill.
We got that in the heel.
I can feel the fear building up when I watch him pitch.
From you or from opposing hitters?
Yeah, no. Just like I know if I was to get in the box against that guy, just something about him. He's like kind of tall and lanky. He's just big.
Give up 10 earned?
Yeah, that'll ruin your ERA. He's got a 10 and an 8. That hurts your earned run average.
Still has a 3.5.
Yeah.
10 earned. Jeez.
6'5" up there, just slinging it, dude. Yeah, that's not a comfortable at bat. That's called being uncomfortable.
Okay.
You guys want to hear about the AL?
I have to.
Okay, here we go. This is your AL recap. The Rays went into Fenway. They were tied up in game 1, and then they said, we'll just win. And the Rays beat Boston and break their hearts with 4 runs in the 9th inning. Then the Red Sox beat them handily in game 2. It seems like the Rays were going to lose that game. They just let the bad pitchers just go forever, and the Red Sox put up 20 runs. The Rays score 8 themselves, so I don't really know what to think about game number 2. And then the Rays win in game number 3, 8-1. They get to the pen again. I believe this game was really close into the 6th inning, and the Rays went off. The Rays pitched horribly. Their starters had a 10-13 ERA. Their relievers had a 7.11 ERA. Now, that is brought down because they had a position player pitch, so it's kind of fugazi. The Red Sox pitched decent. Their starters had a 3.12 ERA through 3 games. Their relievers were awful. Renfroe had 5 hits, 4 extra base hits, a home run, and a botch play in right field that allowed a couple runs to score. Bogarts and Devers also hit home runs. Evaldi went 7 innings pitched, 1 earned run in game 2, so the Red Sox got a nice start out of him. And Sale is going to make his debut tomorrow. I don't know when that note was written. And Schwarber could also join the Red Sox as soon as tonight or tomorrow night. Don't know when that was written. The Athletics and the Indians played 3 games, and the A's swept the Indians 4-3 in game 1 in extras, 6-3 in game 2, 17-0 in game 3. Bieber is coming back for the Indians, so the season might turn around. Only 4 Indians record multiple hits. Andrews had a game-tying home run. Lowry go-ahead 3-run homer in the 8th of game 2. The 17-0 win is the largest shutout in Athletics franchise history, so good for them. The White Sox went to Minnesota to take on the Twins. And the White Sox won handedly in Game 1, 11-1. Bo Burrows did not have it. Lucas Giolito, he did. Twins won a close game in Game 2. Griffin Jacks pitched well. Keuchel gives up a 2-run homer. Twins win 4-3. And then the Twins won again in Game 3, 1-0. How about that? Huh? What of it? The numbers are weird.
Getaway day.
The White Sox out-hit the Twins in every slash line and out-pitched them. Starter ERA was lower, reliever ERA was lower, but the White Sox also lost 2 of the games. So kind of funky baseball in Minnesota. Yankees went to Kansas City to take on the Royals, played an absolutely wild back-and-forth game in Game 1. It broke records. Both teams scored runs in the 7th inning, the 8th inning, the 9th inning, the 10th inning, and the 11th inning. Their lead went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. The Yankees hold on to win it. Royals win Game 2, 8-4. Yankees win Game 3, 5-2. Should note the Royals starting pitcher Hernandez is nasty. He's got the 3rd most deceptively fast fastball in MLB. It's DeGrom, Glasnow, and that dude. So if you see him pitch, tune in for a little bit. 6 Yankees relievers combined to allow just 2 earned runs in Game 3 to clinch the series. They went superfan. And John Boy Media superfan Rob Brantley threw out Whit Merrifield in Game 3 to end his streak of 33 consecutive stolen bases without being caught. How about that? Angels and the Blue Jays played 4 games. They had a doubleheader on the first day, and they split that, obviously. Then the Blue Jays won Game 3. Angels won Game 4. Ohtani pitched. He did his Babe Ruth thing again. He went 6 innings pitched, 2 earned runs for the win in Game 4. Manoah had a really good start for the Blue Jays, 6.2 with 2 earned runs and 11 Ks. Ohtani also hit his 38th home run, league leading. I think it had been 2 weeks since he hit a home run. So good job by Ohtani. Blue Jays, you got to win that series against the Angels. Rangers and Mariners play 2 out of 3. Mariners take 2 out of 3 from the Rangers, and the Tigers sweep the Orioles. That's your AL recap.
Can I start with the Tigers?
Go.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of funny business down there. Miggy hits .499. They're in Baltimore. They say he's going to play. Everyone's like, why not just sit him on a weird day? He can hit his 500th in Detroit. Turns out everyone was right. And who's the manager there? Hinch?
Yeah.
Hinch was like, oh, yeah, we are actually going to sit him. So he'll be back in Detroit. 500 home runs, 1 swing away. 3,000 hits on the horizon for Miggy. I think he's at 2,950 right now. Think about those numbers, peoples. 500 Jimmy Jacks, 3,000 hits. That's a joke, dude. So shout out Miggy Cabs.
Pretty crazy.
Just doing it forever.
Mariners win 2 out of 3, but they're on a slow walk to out of it, if not already.
They're 4.5 games back, Jim.
Of what?
Wild card.
I had some people.
We can't kill them yet.
I had some people talking about someone. I forget. The division to me is different. 4.5 games out of the division. You probably have a lot of games left against those teams. The wild card, you need to be closer because you don't play unless you're playing the team you're chasing, like the Padres and the Dodgers for home field. But the Mariners. Who are they chasing in the wild card? It's the Blue Jays, the Red Sox, the Yankees, and the A's. So, if it was just them and the A's.
But they're 6.5 back of the A's.
They're 6.5 back of the A's. So, they're out. You got to, if you don't have games left, for me, like Paul O'Neill, like I said yesterday, always says, if you're 5 games out, but you play the team.
What if I've got some good news for you?
Then you're in it. But they're playing all those teams?
3 against Toronto this weekend.
Okay. Well, then I'll wait until those are gone. But the wild card, you need to be closer than the division to still have faith, in my mind, because you play teams in the division a lot.
Yeah, it's either that or you run off 10 in a row, 9 in a row.
Yeah.
Those are you can do that too. And this team's capable of that.
Big.
I
love what JP Crawford's doing at short. Marco Gonzalez
Love JP.
with a couple good starts to kind of get his season back in line. He was getting roughed up this year. No, I mean what Jimmy's saying is like this was a movie scene. The Seattle Mariners, you know, they're sword fighting and they're starting to back up to the cliff. And hey, if they start going nuts and start whirly-birding everyone and chopping heads off, yeah, you can dance, but otherwise there's a lot of bodies there. So we'll see what happens, Mariners. Keep fighting. Make us talk about you.
I was going to say Kelnick, has he gotten it going? I saw him hit some homers, but then you look at his numbers, he has not got it going.
Starting to think baseball's tough, man.
It's definitively better than that first time he was
tough.
up, but that's a low bar.
Kelnick, Duran, all these young guys, it takes a little while to adjust, man. Everyone's built different.
Yeah, I just did just his second stint so far. I'm not even going to do it. Who cares? He's a rookie. He deserves more time. So
He's a rookie and a vet.
He's 22 years old. What else we got?
Texas stinks. Orioles stink. Good job, Tigers. Tigers jumped into second place. They passed Cleveland.
That's crazy.
Let's go.
Blue Jays.
Yeah, they got some pitching.
I would have liked the Blue Jays to win that Angels series. Obviously, as a Yankees fan, I'm fine with them not being as competitive as they are. But they're really, really good. And I don't know, one more win puts them tied with the Yankees in the wild card. Now, they're not that far out, but, you know, the Angels, Ohtani's really good. It's kind of a bummer they ran into Babe Ruth on Game 4.
You got Ohtani and a doubleheader that they split. So when you break it up like that, it makes a little more sense. Man, some of their dudes, Manoah keeps rolling. Bichette sat a couple games, and Biggio's supposedly on his way back. So, you know, that's a couple guys that they would have liked to have there. But, yeah.
Manoah is one of those guys. They need to go lock him up.
Thick.
If you're the Blue Jays front office, go lock him up. Get him cheap. I mean, that sucks for me to say that as a player because I don't want anyone to get cheaped out of anything. But, dude, go offer this guy, I don't know what, 30 mil for 5-6 years, whatever the hell you want to do.
Sure. You know, you tick it up, whatever the average for a good starting pitcher is. Take your chance is the point. Like, that's if you're not one of the big boys who are going to have a $200 million payroll every year, why not, man? He looks legit. He was a legit prospect.
I'll tell you why. Because, you know, if the CBA wasn't coming up, you just buy out his arbitration at around 10 per, and that's like the nice thing. And you
don't have to do 10 per. That's too much. I mean, that's not really what I'm talking about.
Well, that's what they do. They would wait a couple years. They're not going to extend him right now. I'm not going to extend a pitcher in the first 3 years of it. Usually they wait, and then they do the Dobnak, the Sevy thing, and they say, hey, we'll buy out the next 4 years of your controlled years, arbitration years, $10 million per. But with the CBA coming up, they're not going to offer him anything until they figure out what the next couple years look like.
Take a chance.
At the high school dance.
Yeah. Did Stripling go to the IL?
Sure did.
That's a bummer for them.
Bummer.
And
Aaron.
They don't necessarily need him. I know he's been okay, but they have 4 legit starters right now.
I think were they 6-man in it for a little bit, so that's kind of the risk you just run this season.
Yeah, I don't know. Barrios had a bad game. He gives up 6 earned. But Manoah, Matt's he goes 4.2, but only 2 earned. Manoah's kind of their dude.
The A's are not fucking around. Well, yeah, 7 in a row?
Dude.
Where are they at?
Oakland.
Yep, 7 in a row.
I kind of... we're a scheduled pod. They played Cleveland. They beat Cleveland. In Cleveland. Good. That's what you're supposed to do. Man, they're sneaking up on those Stros again. And I did not think that conversation was going to come into play, especially, you know, tracking the wild card so closely. You know, you saw Oakland like it was a thing. You know, Boston fell behind Oakland, and the other teams were sneaking up on Boston, so you wondered what it was looking like. Man, good for Oakland. They are a game and a half back of the Houston Astros, 2 in the loss column. I assume they're going to have some against them coming. Oh, Oakland's got a Schedule pod. Oakland's got a tough stretch. They do finish end of the year. They're going to have 6 versus Houston, so keep it within 4, but they got a schedule coming up.
It's not
Well, they got
good.
Texas the next series.
Texas, then White Sox, San Fran,
Giants.
Mariners, Yankees, Tigers, Blue Jays, White Sox.
I think they're better than all those teams except for the White Sox. So
San Fran?
forgot you said San Fran.
Okay.
Yeah. Seems like a split series to me.
1.5 out. Imagine if the Astros had to go to the wild card. Not going to happen. I would not bet against that happening. I know the Astros are banged up right now too, but
It's close. It's real.
I almost think, whatever. Astros will be in the CS, and if you bet against that, you're stupid.
Yeah, kind of.
It's been happening.
Kind of.
Okay.
Boston and Rays. Boston thinks they got game 1. Rays put up 4 runs. Boston wins game 2 handedly, and I don't want to take away from that win. It's nice, but if you look at the box score, it's very clear the Rays were very willing to punt that game. They must have been
went down.
What's that?
Once they went down.
They must have been out of pitchers, kind of like what the Yankees are doing with Heaney, and all teams do it with someone at some point. Because you look at the box score, and they let Fleming give up 10 earned. And this is the Rays.
Wear it, kid.
The Rays change pitchers. If the wind blows a new direction, they say, oh, dude, you're on fire, but the wind just went from northwest to southeast, so we're taking you out. Sorry about your no-hitter. We're playing the wind today. Like the Rays, they don't let pitchers die, and they let Josh Fleming die. So kudos to the Red Sox, because if you lost this game when the Rays were, by and large, ready to forfeit, that'd be bad.
Yeah,
but you get the win.
I said this to you on the way back yesterday because, this was a big series for Boston. They just had what they thought was their worst loss, the George Springer home run to blow that final game and lose 9-8. They followed that up by blowing a game to the Rays, which that turned into their worst loss. I think they were up 4-2 in the 8th, and then they find themselves down 8-4 in the 9th. And the Rays just raided. I think old backup catcher Frankie Mejia with the big game buster, and that's obvious if you're the Rays. And then, they basically punked game 2. And then I said it. We did a little field trip yesterday. I was like, I bet the Rays win by 1 today, and Boston's going to be sitting on their hands like, didn't we dominate this series? We basically won game 1. We killed them game 2. And then the Rays, they ended up bullying them in game 3 too. And if you're Boston, you have the Orioles this weekend. You got to go to work. Chris Sale coming back. There's rumors Schwarbo might be on the way back. So handle your business against Baltimore. Yes.
He has the big hit, the backup catcher. Renfroe bobbles it and right, but big hit in the 9th inning, and then the next 9th inning, he's on the mound, giving up 6 earned.
Ain't that it? Trev, I did laugh. I know we already talked Oakland A's. You mentioned Jed Lowry's going to have like a big playoff double the series before, and then I opened their box score on Monday or Tuesday night, and he had the game-winning go-ahead double in the 10th inning, and I was just like, yeah, okay, Disco Jed still got it. We've danced around our Yankees and Royals. Jim, you summed it up well in the thing. That first game was absolute chaos. Zeros on the board through 6, and then every reliever that came in gave up a run through the 11th inning. You know, some ghost runners got involved during the Manfred times, but an absolutely wild game. And Yankees continue to need to win series, and they do. Not always the prettiest still, but they're a conversation point again.
And they lose more people to COVID.
Yeah, Garrett
You guys
Cole.
Want to play?
Garrett Cole cracking
You
want to
play the game real quick?
Who? With what?
Who you
Lowry?
The Jed Lowry game.
Ooh.
71.
Grab my headphones.
And that seems a lot.
I hate to kind of cut you off a little bit, and I don't fully believe it, but BBD's here. I'll go 69 on the nose.
Ooh. You guys are both heavy.
I felt like mine was way too
58.
high. What is it?
58.
58 mil. Although this year they have listed as 100,000. I know he's in a minor league deal. Probably making a mil this year. So I'll give him 59.
Okay. And all his endorsements, that gets him up to 59-1.
I love me some Jed Lowry,
Disco
man.
Jed sexual.
Sexual.
This is his 13th year in the show.
That's awesome.
Jake, can you let us know what happened in the interleague
You
play?
serious, Clark?
Yeah, I'd really like to know. Kind of. I kind of hate it. Go ahead, though.
Well, there was a huge makeup game, the game everyone is talking about. Cleveland hosted Cincinnati's OHIO. Are you kidding me? And what a game it was. Luis Castillo, who I've been giving so much love to because he turned it around. He gets rocked. How's your 8 earnings and 3.1? He had been great his previous 10 starts. Jose Ramirez, Trev's future Brave with the 2-homer game. 2-home run and a triple. Wow, Ahmed Rosario, he gets a triple. That's fun. Wilson Ramos, Old Thick, as people are calling him, with a 2-run yacker. Cleveland wins that game 9-3, and then my Rocks went to H-Town. John Boy's H-Town. How's your pinata? And that's kind of what the Rockies were. 5-0, 5-1. Oda Rizzi. Ooh, he's so rich. Trevor. And Framber alert, Framber Valdez. He does it too. How's your 0.82 ERA from the starters? Relievers with 7 shutout innings while the Astros hit 313 as a team. They good. And that's the interleague.
Nice. A nice, tidy interleague.
Way to go,
Good job.
Jake.
And we kind of talked about all those teams already, so I don't think we need to do much.
Tidy.
So it is time for... Where's that funky loop I have?
Play that funky. Oh.
Yep. Time for... This is the new soundtrack for it. It's BBD Simulation.
Ooh.
Are you ready?
I don't know.
Wow. Are you ready? It's a whole new playoffs this time. We got some things changing in the American League wild card. Boston is heading. They're flying all the way to Oakland for a 1-game series. BBD, who wins that 1 game?
Oakland.
Wow. Okay. The White Sox are going to Houston. This is the same as it's been. It's the old manager's bowl. Who's winning? White Sox or Houston? 5-game set.
Oh no, it's Houston.
Oh.
They go to the
They're
CS.
in the ALCS.
Yeah, they go to the CS.
You
All
just
right.
said you're an idiot if you don't pick that.
In the in the DS, you have Oakland. Now they hosted Boston. They fly to the cross of the country and they take on Tampa Bay for a 5-game series. Who wins that one?
Oakland.
Wow, that's a crazy ALCS. You have Houston and Oakland, division rivals in the American League Championship Series, and who wins that?
Houston.
Houston, wow. In the World
Oakland.
Series. All right, the NL, the wild card game. We still have the Padres flying all the way to LA to face Walker Buehler in the wild card game.
Dodgers.
Yeah, Walker Buehler.
Yeah.
It's a
All right,
friend.
you got Philly. Philly, first time they're in the stimulation. They're going to Milwaukee for a 1-game set, and they are...
It's the Brewers.
Yeah, it's the Brewers. It's the Brewers.
Wow.
The DS, the Dodgers, after winning the 1-game wild card, will fly up north to the Bay Area and take on the San Francisco Giants. Who wins that?
Oh, Giants.
Ooh, okay, so your NLCS is the Milwaukee Brewers versus the San Francisco Giants. And who's going to the World Series?
Wow, Brewers.
Wow.
What a year, what a team.
So it is the Milwaukee Brewers versus the Houston Astros. It's not the best marketability, but who wins?
I can't get over that rotation, Brewers.
Wow. That is the first time the Milwaukee Brewers have won the simulation playoffs. Great job by them.
Great job.
Milwaukee Brewers World Series champs, August 11th simulation. Is it 12th now? Or is it still the 11th?
Today is the 13th.
13th. Friday the 13th. You're all
Friday.
over it.
Friday the 13th. Great job, BBD. That's their first one, yeah.
Was that Rez?
Yeah, that was Rez. Yeah.
Ooh, that was... Rez would hate
Not
that,
Rez.
but there's Rez tones in there.
I'm like a huge Rez fan, so I knew that she would hate
Bro, you would dig... At a Rez concert, you'd be like, yo, all right. Which is good.
that. I'm into it.
Let's go to the second half of the show where we shout out some of the individual performances, and this is brought to you by Farm to Fame. Farm to Fame is a show on the network. Former big league pitcher Peter Moylan and sports journalist Kelsey Wingert are bringing you all the updates you need to know about the kids making their way to the show. If you want to learn more about the prospects, the up-and-comers, rising stars, they did an interview with Josh Smith, if you're a Rangers fan or Yankees fan, because he got traded in the Gallo trade, and super behind-the-scenes insight into what it's like being traded as a minor leaguer, up until, like, who calls you first? The team that traded you or the team that's getting you, and who's calling you from those teams? And, like, all that info that I am super curious about, just, like, the ins and outs of that. So they had an interview with him. Their episodes are released every Wednesday morning on the John Boy Media Baseball channel, JM Baseball, and everywhere else that you listen to your favorite podcasts. You can stay up to date on Instagram and Twitter by following _. That's a great account if you're a baseball fan. They do an absolute wonderful job highlighting these rookies and these young guys and even minor leagues. Like, you're going to see cool minor league plays that not a lot of other places are really highlighting. So shout out to Farm to Fame. They are bringing you the Standout Performances.
Who played the best?
Yeah, and we had some confusion in the YouTube comments last episode. Standout Performance is a single game performance. In Fuego is you had a great series. Standout is single game. It started as just pitchers, and it was very hard for hitters to make it, but Jake and Trev have found some hitters they like these days, but usually it's got to be like a big, big day at the plate. Trev, you go first. Who's your standout performance?
Speaking of big days at the plate, my guy, Lewis Brinson. I want to call him Louie. I think Louie is a good nickname for him. Lewis Brinson goes 3 for 4 with 2 freaking Jimmy Jacks, 3 RBIs, and he threw a walk in there for good measure. Why did I pick Brinson? For one reason and one reason only. He just switched representation and is now represented by my buddy Ollie Linton at CAA. Shout out Ollie. You play drums in my band. Now he's doing big things at CAA. So shout out Louie for having a good game, and shout out Ollie because you're just the GOAT.
Also the home runs and stuff.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay.
It's my standout performance, Jim.
His nickname, according to Baseball Reference, is Bryn Diesel.
We like that.
We like that.
We do like that.
And look, he's having a good year at the plate. Hasn't found that stroke. He's 27 years old. Things are kind of coming to him this year. Maybe he's found something. Late bloomer. Come on, Brenny.
If he was like the biggest piece in the Yelly deal. So I know our guy Foolish Baseball's been all over that. I love putting guys in the they figured it out late bucket. I know BBD was getting in the mix on the internet with some of that. If Lou Brewer figured it out at 27, awesome. And hey, he would expedite the Marlins 2022 season. If
He's 6'5".
he's a big boy, huh?
6'5". His last 10 games, .432 batting average, 1.340 OPS. So he's on a 10-game heater right now. Popped Ryan Weathers twice. Good for him.
Maybe
Good for you.
Maybe you can get that Byron Buxton offensive game going. Don't worry too much about the walks. When you hit it, drive it, and let's go. That's kind of what his stats are looking like.
Good job, Bryn Diesel. My standout performer is Waino. Adam Wainwright. I know we said the Cardinals are dead or whatever, but my mom actually texted me a Jack Flaherty tweet.
Wow.
And she said, are these teammates fighting? Or is this a beef between teammates? Because Jack Flaherty quote tweeted Waino's stats and said, or quote tweeted a picture of Waino and said, this guy's a joke. I was like, no, she means he's so good that it's laughable. But what he's doing at age 39 is crazy. He's got a 3.27 ERA on the season. He's got a 2.63 ERA in the last 13 starts. In this game that he's receiving the standout performance for, he went 9 innings pitched against the Pirates. I get it, but still, 9 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 2 hits, both by Colin Moran, and the first one was not a hit. And the scorekeeper, I got huge bugaboo with you because there's a little unwritten rule of scorekeeping that says the first one's got to be a real one, and this was not a real one. It was a comebacker, one hopper right into Waino's glove that he missed, and it should have just been an error on Waino, and I'm sure he'd be like, yeah, give me the error and not the hit. I should have had him out. So, come on, scorekeeper. First one's got to be a real one. Should have been a one-hitter because the next one was real. So good job by Waino. He's old. And they're just going to sign him for another year. Unless he wants to retire into the sunset because he's just still doing it. Love it.
Hot.
Shout out Waino.
I always love when a guy bucks the traditional trend. Waino, great career, 34, 35, 36. He gets hit around the park a lot. And he's bounced back for 3 seasons, and he looks gross out there. And Jerry Blevins, Shea Station.
Shout out.
New show on the network. Go check that out. Mets fans or baseball fans. He he got the Twitter effect a little bit. He's like, Waino's going to be top 3 Cy Young this year. And then he replied to himself. He's like, maybe top 5. I looked around a little bit. Maybe top 5. And that actually segues into my standout performer a little bit. He was my dark horse before the season. Tasting players and tasting myself at the same time is one of my favorite activities. And Mr. Burnes.
Disgusting.
Corbin Burnes, how's your MLB record? 10 straight punchies. Is that good? It's really good. His final stat line, 8 innings pitch, 0 earned run, 15 Ks. Picture you watch a starting pitcher have an 8 strikeout game. That's pretty good. Picture you watch a starting pitcher have a 7 strikeout game. That's also pretty good. Now combine that in one day at the office. Corbin Burnes is gross. Jim, I'll give you a couple John Boy stats. What if I told you he had 14 starts of 1 earned run or less?
That's good.
Only 2 of those starts are in the 5-inning range. What if I told you Corbin Burnes leads the National League in strikeouts per 9, walks per 9, FIP, fielding independent pitching. Did I say home runs per 9?
Did
home
not.
runs allowed. He leads in that as well.
How would you rank those 4? I bet mine's drastically different than...
I mean, I think FIP is important, and that ties in the K per 9, walk per 9 stuff. Not allowing homers, really important too. But yeah, and if you're a baseball savant person, go check out Corbin Burnes. It looks like he was made in a lab. A lot of 100s and 99s and 98s, expected ERA, chase rate, all of it. He's gross. And again, that top 3 in the Brew Crew rotation right now. Pick ya poison.
Cutter. Just jump the cutter up to 52%. It's crazy.
The Brewers might have made him in a lab.
I don't know.
This might be the reddest I've ever seen a Savant page.
Oh, it's a good Savant page.
He's a good savant.
Can't believe you haven't directed me here before.
I'm sorry.
Okay, Trev, see you later.
Do I want to go? Should I stay? We're trying to go quick.
You're gone.
See ya.
We're going quick. BBD, we had 5 guys on Slump Watch. We had Carlos Santana, Pete Alonso, Patrick Wisdom, Colton Wong, Mike Yastrzemski. Some of those guys I think are coming off. Who might be coming on?
I think some of them are going to be coming off with big claps, and the guys potentially going on. Biggest offers of the week. The first 2 guys, Jose Ramirez and Franmil Reyes, they go 0 for 11 and 0 for 9 respectively. A couple walks each. Those don't include the makeup series because I don't care about that. Those are the games against the A's. Josh Bell goes 0 for 9, 2 Ks. Max Kepler goes 0 for 10 with a walk and 2 Ks. And Eric Haas, who was July Rookie of the Month, 0 for 9, 3 walks, 4 Ks.
Wow. All right. Jay, can you walk us through who's coming off?
Jim, let's start with the biggest of claps. The polar bear, Pete Alonso, goes 6 for 12. Homers, 3 doubles, the walk-off. Good job, big fella. He's off. Patrick Wisdom. This was one I was really excited for. Talk about a guy who could be potentially a late bloomer. He's been having a great year for the Cubs. He had a bad week. Got me nervous. He goes 4 for 11, 2 Jimmy Jacks, 4 Ribbits. Not actual Ribbits. We've come a long way from those, but maybe later this year we'll see.
Against the Brewers, too.
But definite, like as big as you can snap. Colton Wong, my fashion coach. 3 for 13 doesn't jump off at you, Jim, but he got on base at a 375 clip. And that's what Colton Wong's supposed to do with 3 doubles. So when he did hit them, they counted. Colton Wong
Punishes them.
You're off. And then Yazzer, this is a tight one because it's few at bats, but 2 for 7 with a walk, couple RBIs. That's kind of all you can ask. And Jim, I think now we're getting to the math portion of Slump Watch. I've got one guy I don't want to add, and I think Carlos Santana stays because he threw up an 0 for 11. I think Max Kepler just been bad. Like, Franmil's been hitting dingers. Jose Ramirez is a stud. Eric Haas, again, having a huge rookie year. And Josh Bell was hitting a bunch of homers last I checked. So I like those 4.
I'd be open to a debate
I'm not
between
interested.
Bell and Yaz just because Yaz is on a team
Bell,
that matters.
Exactly.
Okay.
And Josh Bell isn't a free agent. He's got another year left of arbitration and all that, and they traded for him, so they're not going to like non-tender him or anything. So like, I don't know if Josh Bell is a little not motivated right now. I don't care.
He's at a little teeter point in his season right now. I mean,
He's had some hot
767
streaks.
OPS. He's probably going to get $8 million next year. I don't know. I'll let you roll. I got my thoughts out there.
In Josh Bell's 10 games before these 3, his numbers were good. 946 OPS, 287 batting. So I'll put Bell on there because I'm being nice to him. I want him.
Right. Get paid.
Want him to get clapped off.
Have the Nats keep you next year.
Yeah, Yaz had a 375 OBP. We'll take Yaz off. And we'll put J-Ram, F-Ray, J-Bell, and Ehas on.
Ehas.
As they're known in the clubhouse.
Ehas.
Okay, Trevor.
Ehas.
Welcome back to the show.
Ehas make DJ.
That means I'm on fire, baby. Like Waco.
In Fuego.
Lady Guadalupe.
Luis Urias went 8 for 12 with 2 homers. Lewis Brinson, Trev told you about him. Anthony Santander. He goes 5 for 11, the height that I will one day be, with 3 homers, 4 RBIs, and a hit by pitch. Joey Votto, what are his numbers looking like in this stretch since he started hitting homers? Can you butter knife those for me, BBD, if you have a second? Very interested. In this series, Joey Votto goes 6 for 11, 2 homers, 643 on base percentage. Lourdes Gurriel Jr., 5 for 9 with 2 homers, hot. Brandon Lau, 5 for 11, 2 homers, 2 doubles, 4 RBIs, 2 walks. Jace Peterson, wow, great to hear. 7 for 11 with a homer. Is he playing every day, Jace? What's he up to?
Everyday Jace?
Because that's a great...
I think it's just Brewers witchcraft. When he plays, he wins the game. If he doesn't, it's fine.
I'm happy that he's like got a home.
Yeah.
Because if you told me back like from 2018, Chase Peterson, if he just, I don't know. Pete Alonso, 6 for 11, home run, 3 doubles, a hit by pitch, tons of smiles. Hunter Renfroe, 5 for 12, homer, 3 doubles, and 7 RBIs. Did you have?
Yeah, I have Joey Votto stats that I think I've appropriately butter knifed. Came back from the break with a series against the Brewers that I kind of don't care about, and then from then on they played the Mets. 22 games since then, 14 homers in 22 games, batting at a 386 batting average with a 1.416 OPS, 5 doubles, 32 RBIs in those 22 games, 13 walks.
How much are you on his game logs page?
Mm-hmm.
So from that Brewers, what was his slash line at the end of the Brewers series after the break?
At the end of that Brewers series, first series after the break, he was at 249 with a 789 OPS.
249, 789. That's
Just
Chase
below
Peterson
250.
line, not a Joey Votto line. So what's it at now after the 22 games?
Today he's up to 285.
Wow.
957.
Wow.
So he went from 22 games. He went from a bad season if your name is Joey Votto to a Joey Votto season if your name is Joey Votto at this age.
His season
How about,
numbers are great.
Not to be the butter knife king. You
Yeah.
know,
Yes.
I grew up in butter knives.
Yeah. If you want to go from
Well,
the Homer
Jake
barrage.
wasn't allowed to have steak knives allowed by him.
Jim, what if I told you
Yeah.
April 12th? That's what, the start of the year?
12 days after.
The first 3 series, if you take those out, the first 3 series, Joey Votto, 1.034 OPS.
For the whole season?
Take out the first 3 series, and he's got MVP numbers.
His last 77 games.
Good for him.
Joey V.
Good for him. Okay.
Trev, you laughed?
I got my standout. I told you is Louis Brinson that my friend Ollie is now
Yeah.
representing. It's not him. So shout out Louis.
Ollie's
Brinson
not
anyway for getting
representing
it
him?
going. No, he's not. It's a different person, completely different person. So still shout out Ollie. Still shout out Brinson. It's me.
Love sharing the
I don't know if you need to
man.
cut that out or something, but
You just did.
No,
It's
you
a
just-
retroactive cut.
other dudes.
You cleared the air on that.
Yeah.
I just
still
Proud
give
of
my
you.
standout
Proud of you for
performance,
coming out.
out Blue Brew.
I didn't know he was 6'5", so shout out that.
Yeah.
Okay.
No. Yeah.
He's not good. He's fabulous.
Why did no one correct me in the chat? Where are you at, chat?
Why would they know his representation?
I don't
You're
know.
talking about one of your close friends you're in a band with.
I took your word for it.
We were leaning on you there.
Oh, dude, it's been a wild couple days for me. I'll say that.
All right.
I'm back. I'm back though.
Shout out nameless.
I'll
Jeff.
taste other dudes. Yeah.
All right. Trev, you are up with your award.
It's me. Well, you already kind of spoiled this. Also, I'm going with the OK Peter award. Before this last series against the Nationals, Pete came and held the press conference saying everybody smiled and we're playing baseball and we're going to do this and we're going to do that. And I roasted him a little bit. I said, nobody wants to hear that in New York, dude. Nobody wants to hear smile. Like, go. Actions are what matter, Pete. That's what matters. Don't sit up here and preach to us. Well, he said, okay, Coach Trev, you want some action? Went 6 for 12, 4 extra base hits, 2 homers. They sweep the Nats 3 games in a row. I know they got the Dodgers coming in. I know he's got a tall task ahead of him. But if I'm going to sit up here and talk a little bit of crap to your Polar Bear Pete, I better sit up here and also say congratulations for, backing up your words. A lot of times guys will say stuff and not back it up. Pete backed it up. So shout out Pete. Okay, Peter award goes to you today. And I want to see him continue it.
Pure.
I want to
Pete
see them go
Alonso.
all the way. I don't want to see them get out of the race after these 13 games.
No, me neither. I want those to go down to the end.
Yeah.
I think his nickname should be Pure Pete. I know it's Polar Bear, but he's just so pure. He said all that stuff. He believed it, and he meant it. And, it's 3 games, and it's really good to do it right away. West Coast trip
Right
still
away.
daunting, but the walk-off, so Pure
They
Pete.
needed these games. He walked it. And that's why whenever we talk Pete, I get the wry smile and I shake my head a little bit because it's so natural and it's, I think he went back to the reporters. They interviewed him after the walk-off and he said, He had a kind of a coy line, like, baseball's fun. Like, kind of going back to that, enjoy watching whenever we're playing baseball. And it's like, you're kind of a low-key sick puppy, and you have no idea, Peter. What a
Love it.
stud.
There you are, Peter.
Does Ollie rep him?
Ollie doesn't rep him. Do you want me to tell you who it is?
Yeah.
Taylor Trammell.
Taylor Trammell. That's right. I think you told me this over the weekend.
I want to put this on the soundboard just to let you guys know.
Okay.
Oh, there you are, Peter.
'Cause
Yeah.
I like that.
remind me, it's from Hook.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you are, Peter. It is you.
It's a weird, Peter Pan's a weird story, but whatever.
An angel bringing a bunch of kids to heaven? That's weird to you?
We always land here.
Yeah, I don't want to think about kids going to heaven. Oh, sorry.
You'd rather them go...
Live a life on earth.
Good answer.
Good answer. Great answer.
Good counter.
Great answer. Yeah.
Strong answer.
Thanks.
Am I up?
Jemima, you got one?
It's me. I'm up.
Yeah, it's the Heart and Hustle Award. Rich Hill laid down a bunt and just ran to first base. And if you haven't seen it, you need to see it. And I mean, it's half a joke because it looks hilarious, and it's half not a joke because there's no reason at all that Rich Hill at 40 years old needs to be laying down a bunt. I don't think it was safe and running that hard down the line. I almost think the Mets coaches were like, dude, no, don't need it. But heart and hustle, some things you can't teach and some things you can't unteach, Hard to unlearn heart as much as it is to teach it, Trev. Rich Hill's just a competitor. You put him between the white lines, he'll dinosaur run his ass all over that field.
Dinosaur run?
Did you see it?
I watched it. I didn't get the dinosaur.
Looks to me like a little, like a unbalanced. What's the bumbling, fumbling fools of the dinosaur world, whatever that dinosaur was.
Man, if I'm sprinting like that at 41,
Looking better than me now, probably.
what a win.
There was a lot of comments that looks like he's going 30 miles per hour and 2 miles per hour at the same time. I don't know who originally said that, but it's pretty good.
I met Rich at a Twins Fest. When I went up and just said hi. He had just signed there. And I didn't say my name. I was like, "Hey, Rich, how are you doing?" He had no idea who I was, for sure. He acted nice, and we talked, and we had a nice conversation. But when I left, I bet you he was like, "You don't know that guy." One of those interactions.
Shout out Ollie.
Good story.
Jake, do you have an award?
I do. I am giving out the Missed Flight Award. Missed Flight Award. If anyone's ever missed a flight, you step up to the desk, you say, "Hey, so what can we do? How can you get me where I gotta go?" And then they start running through it, and they're like, "Well, we can connect you through Pittsburgh, and then you'll take a flight, and that'll get you to Denver. Or, we'll get you in Nashville, Tennessee, and then you'll go to Seattle straight from there." Jim, I think our guy BBD missed a flight. He thought he was supposed to connect through Philly for that infield. They shot him down to Atlanta. The Atlanta Braves infield. The Braves are back in the mix, people. And I said,
weird brain you have.
"What are you guys doing? What's going on in Atlanta? What's their identity at this point?" No Ozuna, no Acuna, the Soroki, he's out. What's the identity of these Atlanta Braves? Jim, I figured it out. This Braves infield, you'd love this, Jim. Austin Riley, Freddie Freeman, Dansby Swanson, Ozzie Albies. All 113-plus games played. There are 4 Braves with 400-plus at-bats. There are 4 Braves with 300-plus at-bats. It's those 4 guys around the horn. They all combined to have a 9.5 WAR. It's better than the Phillies infield. Sorry, BBD. I know you're getting a lot of shrapnel right now.
You need to account for the catcher position.
Even when you
much
add
more.
Real Muto, it doesn't add up, BBD. Ronald Torreyes is coming fourth in WAR for the Phillies infield right now. Ozzie
And that's a
Albies,
negative?
Dansby Swanson, Freddie Freeman, Austin Riley, they all have 20-plus homers. Your Yanks only have one guy with 20-plus homers, Jim. The Atlanta Braves infield is what kept them together through this. Those guys are playing almost every day. Ozzie Albies trying to sneak into the JM All Baseball team at second base. Peter Moylan texting me and Jim saying, is Dansby a top 10 shortstop? We say, I don't know, Peter. There's a lot of pretty good shortstops, dude. Look around the league. And he says, yeah, you're right. But he's kind of around that tier, right? Near the end? Sure, man. Whatever you need to hear. Young Thick having the breakout year and Freddie Freeman back up to Freddie Freeman stats. The Missed Flight Award.
Can you unravel how you got from... Did it start with you wanted to talk about the Braves infield?
I wanted to see what was going on with the Braves. And then I saw, like, when you look at their stats page, it clearly jumps out. The games played, the at-bats, their stats, everything they're doing. It's all the Braves infield. So then I thought Braves infield, Phillies infield, how do I connect Philadelphia and Atlanta? I almost tried to do a math pod where I was going to say the wrong division, something like that. But yeah, I landed on the Missed Flight Award.
Beautiful. We should take at the end of the year, take a look at all of our draft and see what comes up with.
Bryce Harper at first, BBD. Did you slide him there?
Yeah.
Ooh. Illegal.
I mean, the numbers before and after being exposed to the first base position.
Say Peter Moylan in an Australian accent.
Peter Moylan. Dude, the John Boy breakdown of Peter Moylan's first walk is a must-watch, if only to see the hair he was growing on his chin to try to be a hot boy. Unreal. God.
Yeah, he texted me back, or he texted me when it went out and just said, I fucking love you. Did you watch that, Trev? It's his...
I didn't see that. When did that come out?
Yesterday.
Did he know you were going to do that?
Well, yeah, because I texted him.
I thought, I remembered you would talk to the other, you would reach out to the other guy.
Yeah, I reached out to the pitcher. I don't think he ever responded. Sean Gallagher.
I couldn't remember if you told
It was
Pete
his
about
debut, and he walks Moylan, and then Moylan drills him. And I was just like, hey, making a video on this. You remember anything? He didn't respond.
Same Farm to Fame guy we mentioned earlier. Kelsey Wingert.
I'm watching right now.
Oh, nice.
Huge.
Anything else we need to do?
Two more else's
Best
we need
friend?
to do.
Oh my god. Yeah, best friend. And
Ooh. Who's the best friend?
It's the second time receiving a Yankee bias. It's J-Mo. It's his second best
he's
friend
earned
award.
it.
He has earned it. It goes 6 innings, no earnings. The one run was unearned. 4 Ks, 4 hits. Walker Buehler and Gibby are the only other pitchers with multiple best friend awards.
Wow.
Tyone's ERA being down to 3.82. Go check out that game log. Game logs.
shout out J-Mo. I liked him, man. We met him.
Good dude.
He's been.
Of J-Mo.
At the parking lot times.
He's been.
Sarasota
Things are changing now.
It was our parking lot friend.
He was all hobbled. Remember, he had the kneel, put your knee on it thing. That makes sense. People know what I'm talking about.
It's the scooter.
A knee brace? Scooter.
He was scooter. He was like rolling around, all cool.
Cool and sexy.
Oh my gosh. We've come a long way, guys. I love it.
Let's go us.
Elevator talk?
Yeah, let's do it. What team do you guys want to talk about? Doesn't matter. The wheel decides.
I'm going to guess the Royals.
Wow.
Okay.
I like guessing the wheel. I'm going
We gotta
Reds.
play that game more.
If you find yourself in an elevator with a person who is wearing this hat, oh no.
Came up Texas Rangers.
want
I think
Texas-
they're
Yeah, let's talk the Texas
No,
Rangers.
no.
Let's talk about
That
it.
guy, he chose. He said, "You know what? I'll take another
is a
elevator."
gag gift.
Oh, the Reds. I feel like we talk about the Reds all the
We do
time.
talk about
I think
them
they
a
got
lot.
a
They were my
recent
guess.
wheel.
Third final spin.
Final spin, whatever.
FIFA spin.
The wheel decides.
The Tigers.
Tigers? Did we do them? recently?
I think so.
We talk about a lot of baseball teams on this show.
Well, we do 2 a week, so.
Hey, we got second place.
You know what they did that we can talk about? They locked up Scope, and he said that he wanted to be nowhere else but Detroit. I think he went to, I think he's Boris, and I think he said, hey, well, this is where I want to sign in the offseason, so just do it now. And Scope's locked up for 2 more seasons after this, which is very happy for him because he's been hunting 1-year deals, it feels like, for 4 years. And I remember, I think it was my brother-in-law was like, why does no one sign this guy? Like, he's not, like, comparably around the league, he's, like, got stuff to offer. Why does he only get 1-year deals? Seems like he wants to be in Detroit. They want to have him. He signs a 2-year deal with them. So, I mean, that's what you say in the elevator. Like, hey, you know what? This Scope guy wants to be here. That makes me like him.
It is kind of crazy he hasn't commanded a longer term deal.
Yeah, it's odd, right?
31 so far, 31.6.
I
Now he's
think
got those 2 extra on top, so.
I think there's a way to chop up his stats a little bit that Jonathan Scope, like we're talking about, I mean, second baseman never had power in baseball. Like literally ever until this era of baseball. And I think if his numbers and Rugi Odor's numbers are in like baseball history as some of the most home runs from a second baseman.
If you're in that elevator, you're talking about one thing. It's not Jonathan Scope. I apologize. You can bring it up secondary. It's Miggy Caps chasing down 500.
That's a good one too. Let's
Scope's been a
all
lot of
watch
firsts.
You
that.
going to the game, you watching,
Yeah.
you think it's
Yeah.
tonight, all that good shit.
I'm glad they're doing it in Detroit.
It sounds like you'd probably be talking about the pitching too.
A lot
These
of
guys
young-
have showed up.
lot
They're
of young
here.
arms.
They're here a year too early.
Ooh.
Wish they would have came. That's what I would be saying. Wish they would have showed up next year. Get that draft pick. Now, not so hot.
They don't even need the draft pick.
You know who's leading
Scope
the
is
team?
a low key thick boy too.
Yeah. Leading the team in WAR, Trev, your boy, Robbie
Grossi?
Grossman.
Jake sucks.
Trevor against Rich Hill. 0 for 1 with a hit by pitch.
What?
The out's a line out.
Obviously.
All called strike foul.
It's goddamn
I'm gonna put this out there. If I face Jerry Blevins 10 times, it'd be a 400 career hitter.